one of the projects that I feel that is so important is we have today children and youth with a huge neshama, but the world is very confusing. If I can say it in a short story, a child came to me and said, Rabby, when you were a child, did you have internet? I told him no. He said, so what did you do all day? They can't even understand how can you survive without internet. And when you have internet and Facebook and all the movies today and cell phones, it's very good, but also quite mashigane. And to create material for children, for youth, that will give them the ability to love Torah. This is one of my missions. Also, all my books that I'm writing for adults, for everyone, like the Shmita one, is also the same idea, to write, also to understand what to do, but also to write from the sources and the knowledge, but to do it user-friendly that everyone will understand. And in this system, we have a amuta called Sulamot, that we are trying to create material in Israel, Baruch Hashem, Ministry of Education, most material in Yadut we are writing, in the United States, in Australia, in South Africa, South America, France, and it makes a big movement, Baruch Hashem. And one of the things are the movies of Ratzim LaMishnah. Years ago, 7 years ago, Ministry of Education came to us and said, we don't know what to do with Mishnah. It's so important, and children don't like Mishnah. It has the lowest rating. You know what is rating? Lowest rating. And then we decided to try and to find a new system to learn Mishnah. We started a Mishnah as a Fachler called Komdat. Komdat is not .com. Komdat is in Hebrew. Rashi Tevot, Komdat. Kaf is Koteret. Koteret is title. Aleph is Omer. Who said it? Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda. Mem is Mikre. What is the case? Komdat. Daled is Din. What is the halacha, the Din here? And Tet is Ta'am. What is the reason? And we teach children how to recognize if it's Koteret, Omer, Mikre, Din, Ta'am by codes. And they see a Mishnah and they know how to make a chart before they understand the Mishnah. He is in the beginning of the movies. אתה ראית שם קצת קומדת? עוד לא. He'll understand later on. Usually the movies are from they are from כיתה ג' till כיתה ח'. מכמה אתה? 6. But you have to know that also young children that are כיתה א' or גן, they watch it. And something comes in. We hear from parents. Sunday says, oh, something in Baba Kama. How do you know? Yeah, they know. Things come in, but later on, they learn the system, and the Ministry of Education checked again. And today, Mishnah has one of the highest rating in school, thanks to Ratzim LaMishnah, because those movies that are, we created a system, we created books, but then we created movies, tension movies, in order to see them, they're excited every day, but every movie, the main thing in the movie to understand what's going on with the crime or something else is to understand the Mishnah. Without the Mishnah, you won't understand the movie. And the Mishnah is in the system of Komda, in our system. Last summer, every day, 150,000 children watched it. אי אפשר להאמין. And thousands of children continued afterwards to learn Mishnah, to finish Starim, to finish Shas Mishnayot. So we are very happy, and I'm happy that I have here נציג. כל הכבוד.
אז אני יכול להגיד שהם רק שמעו שהרב רימון נמצא פה, אז הם ישר אמרו שהם רוצים לבוא לפגוש את הרב רימון, כי מכירים אותו מהסרט.
אני מאוד שמח. You know, I went this Shabbat to Lod with my wife, to Chizuk. And I went also a few days before with Gilad to give them chizuk. I went there, and hundreds of children came. I just came. They were in Gan Shashuin, the grass there, and I wanted to go to the bathroom. Didn't know what to do. So suddenly I went, b'sheket. I went to shul, and after a few seconds I turn off. I see 300 children after me. But Baruch Hashem, to see the children, sweet children that are connected to Torah and they like through the movies, this is our goal. We have to dream on it day and night. And I'm trying. This is I won't tell you all the projects that I'm trying to do. Baruch Hashem, most day I'm learning and writing. And I'm writing now Shalita Tshuvos on Corona, not just on Corona, and 3 books on Isur Ve'eter, another 2 books on Shabbos. I'm learning. The main thing is Torah. But all the time we have to think on Chesed, on Chinuch. Today I had a meeting on another thing that is wow, that we need to, everyone should need to work on it, on Shidduchim. In our too many amazing people in getting older and older and older, חייבים לעשות משהו. I have a project, but I have a machine in a project like others, but בעזרת השם, once I hope. And today we are going to speak on Shmita, and afterwards on Laofek. Where's Eileen?
I'm here.
Eileen. So בעזרת השם, Eileen is our hero, and she's going to speak afterwards on projects of Chesed. He started with Gush Katif, continued with soldiers, with Ethiopians, and now with COVID, and Bezrat Hashem afterwards, Eileen will speak about it. Because we have here lots of friends and partners, so we decided that instead that I'll give you source pages, we'll give you as a present the new Shmita book, and I will tell you all the time where to open in the book. You have the choice if you want Hebrew or English. It's for every couple. We have one for every couple. So, גלעד, אם אתה יכול לעזור. מה? Most are in English. I don't know if you can manage in English. But if you want in Hebrew, look, my mother was British. And also after 50 years, every Shabbos she had Jerusalem Post. I think that she liked English. So, אנגלית. תודה רבה, בדיוק מה שרציתי. תודה. תודה.
עוד מישהו בעברית?
צריך בעברית, בצריך שלך יהיה באנגלית. אתה מבין?
אני רק חושב שיש
מה אני רוצה? עברית. אני אביא לך את שלי אחרי זה. זה בינתיים, מי רואה?
יש עוד מישהו anyone else?
טוב, אז I'm going to give you a short and a quick guide on Shmita. And I want to start. Someone came to me and said, he went over my books, and he said, I can understand why did you write 2 books on Shabbos. Shabbos. I can understand why you wrote Agada Shel Pesach, Chot Pesach. And he went over, I can understand the book on Purim, the book on Chanukah, I can even understand the book on Aveilus. But there are two books that I don't understand why did you write them. Why did you write a Shmita book? And why did you write two books for the army soldiers? I mean, it's unique. It's not something that usually Rabbi writes on. I told him, I like to answer in all subjects. But when I get a question from a soldier or from a farmer, I'm very excited. Because I know that 2,000 years, rabbis didn't get questions in those subjects. לא שאלו שאלות, לא חיילים ולא חקלאים. And it's exciting. When I get those questions, I said, wow. אני בזמן של גאולה, we are in redemption. It's something that is so exciting. We are here in ארץ ישראל, מדינת ישראל, צבא ההגנה לישראל. There are people, when they hear Shmita, what they think straight away, let's say, oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. You know, someone in Poland, a rabbi told me that a woman came to him and said, I discovered that I'm Jewish. She came with a son and said, I don't know what to do. And he speaks to her, and after 10 minutes says, how do you know that we are Jewish? He says, because we say all the time, oy vey, and I heard just Jewish people, oy vey. So, okay, Shmita, oy vey, oy, oy, oy. And really, when you hear Shmita, you should be excited and say, wow, I have the privilege. For 2,000 years, Jewish nation just was dreaming on coming to Eretz Israel. I'm here. Rambam wrote a book, Shmita v'Yovel. Rashi, all the Sugot and Shas on Shmita, wrote on them. Rambam and Rashi didn't have the privilege to eat even one apple of Kedushat Shvi'it. One apple of Kedusha, of Shmita. We have the privilege. We are here. This is the closest things to Beit HaMikdash. We have no korbanos today. No eating truma or meiser sheni or neta revai. The only holy food that we eat is Kedushat Shvi'it. And it's exciting. And we have to try all the time, as much as we can, more Kedushat Shvi'it, more Kedushat Shvi'it. And we'll try to give a quick guide. We'll start with the garden, and afterwards other things. You can open the book and just show you how the book works. Hebrew and English work the same. In the Hebrew one there are a few more things, but it's quite the same. In the beginning, in the Hebrew one is number 9, it's all the טעמים של השמיטה. All the ideas, the פסוקים. גלעד, איפה זה באנגלית? 18. 18. תשמעי. מאיפה יש לך עברית כזאת?
מאבא שלי.
מהאבא. Israelis people, they say תפילת 18. My father, עליו השלום, could faint if he would hear 18. 8 זה זכר. 10 זה נקבה. אין דבר כזה 18, 18. So it's very nice, כל הכבוד. 18, it's thanks to you, she says. Okay, 18. In the Hebrew, in number 9, those are all the things on the parashot of the Shmita. And it continues in the Hebrew one till 39. And on those I try to show the idea of Shmita and also to give ideas for today. One of the ideas that I'm trying to give is at Shmita, a Shmita hour. You know, most of us are not farmers, and once everyone would do hefker, ownerless, all his field. So I tell people today, instead, your field, okay, keep the rules of Shmita, but also try to ownerless 1 hour a week for chesed, for netina. Let's imagine that all Medinat Israel gives everyone 1 hour a week of chesed. What a shinui we would have here. Wow, everyone is dealing with chesed. So this is the first part, okay? Second part, מורה נבוכים לשנת השמיטה, זה מה שכתוב באנגלית גם? 34. 34, I try in few pages. In the Hebrew one it's 4 pages. In the English one I suppose it will be 6. to give a very, very quick guide to understand everything on Shmita al regel achat, on live food. Just quick guide. And you have a chart that shows you everything very quick. Then you have Kitzur Ilchot Shmita. Kitzur Ilchot Shmita. Kitzur, 44 in Hebrew and 42 in English? And 42 in English. Kitzur Ilchot Shmita. Here you have the summary of all Ilchot Shmita, but every chapter, in the end you have a number of a page. You see a page number. This shows you, if you want on this subject to know more, now you have all the things that I wrote in the book. So, if someone wants to read all the book, I recommend. But if not, when you go on the Kitzur, on the summary, you can go and say, okay, this interests me, this, and then you can go and see more knowledge on the things that you like more. And all the book, all the things are from the sources till today, but it's very user-friendly, with chart, with pictures, with also the agriculture side and the halacha side, and also from time to time a few stories, like the story of the apple. It's also here. Okay, those are the main things that you have here. Okay, I'll show you just one short thing, and okay, afterwards I'll show you. We'll start learning. I want now to see in Hebrew, page 48, כיצד נטפל בגינה בשמיטה. It should be a chart. יש דבר כזה באנגלית? In the beginning. Where? How will we treat the garden in the Shmita? It's in the Kitzur. 52.
Preparing the garden.
No.
Not as a chart.
No.
I think it's the one at 56.
47. מה כתוב 47?
Yeah, 47. 47.
Garden.
Okay. In Hebrew, everything is short, you know. What you can say in one word in Hebrew, you need so you have Hebrew, you have it one page here. So there are 4 sins in the Torah in Shmita. Isur Zri'ah, you mustn't seed. Isur Zmira, you mustn't prune. Pruning is to cut the branches, the anafim, that the tree will grow better. So this is the second thing that you mustn't do, according to Torah. And Isur Ktsira ve'Isur Ptsira. You mustn't reap and you mustn't pick. Picking the fruit and vegetables on Shmita. You have also another Isur that's not written here, but it's Charisha. Lachrosh, harvesting? Plowing. So also this is another Isur in Shmita. Those are four things from the Torah. The Gemara says, because the Torah wrote all the 4 things, the examples, and the Torah wrote also you mustn't reap and also you mustn't pick, although it's the same. So it means that the Torah said just those things you mustn't do. All the rest, they are allowed from the Torah, and they are not allowed just from the Rabbanan. Like, you can see here, Melachot de Rabbanan, you have it in the same page or next page?
Next page.
Okay, in the Hebrew one it's in the same page. Like Hashkaya, watering. Like Zibul, you know what is Zibul? Fertilizing. Like Nikush, to take all the asavim, weeds, weeding. Okay, weeding, Nikush. Nikush is to take them out עם השורש. With the root. And kisuach is to cut them. Like you cut grass, but not with the root. Risus, spraying, we would say. Okay, all those things are not allowed just from the Rabbanan. Now, usually you say, okay, what does it matter if it's the Oraita? If it's from the Torah or the Rabbanan? In any case, you mustn't do it. So it's something very important that the Gemara in Avodah Zarah Daf Nun says. The melachos, the sins that are not allowed just from the Rabbanan, you may do them for keeping the garden, not for creating, not for doing the garden better, but for keeping what you have. It's called le'ukmei. Le'ukmei is לשמור על הקיים, ולא לעברuyei. So you may do it to keep. I mean, if you say, okay, those are the water that I need, that the grass will grow, that the flowers will grow, the tree. Now, if I give more, it will be better. Okay, so give the minimum. The minimum that is enough that it will be normal. So, according to this, we'll see all the things that you may do in Shmita. In a minute, we'll speak before Shmita. Now we are in the Shmita, okay? And you have here in the chart, first thing is zibul, right? Also in yours? Fertilizing. Okay. Fertilizing, usually in our gardens, it's not necessary. Also, if you want fertilize, it will be okay. But today we have something special. We have special material that you can put it before Shmita, and it keeps for the whole Shmita. It's called itiyei temes. It's something that le'at that keeps. You put it before Shmita, you fertilize with this thing, it keeps a year. Now you have to know how to buy the right thing, but your gardener should know. If he doesn't know, we'll tell him where to buy. He should know. There is something that you put and it keeps for years before Shmita. Put this thing, ashkaya, watering. Let's say you water usually every 2 days. Now you'll say, okay, I can wait another 2 days. I can do it once in 4 days. It's just an example. But if every 2 days you open the water for half an hour, you can open it now for how long that you want. You'll do it not so close, but let's say every 4 days, 3 days, as much as the gardener will tell you. But you'll put it for an hour, and like this, in the end, your garden would be nice. It would be okay. It would be a little different with all the years, but it will be okay. If you prepare by computer before Shmita, you can leave it regular, like normal. You don't need to touch it. Just after the winter. Also in the winter it's no problem because you take it less, it's okay. In the summer, after the winter, then it's better to do it like this. Although, because it's by computer, if you do it like regularly, it's also nicht gefährlich. It's also okay. And if a goy is pressing it, in any case, he can do it normally. So watering is not a problem. Okay? So fertilizing is not a problem, and watering is not a problem. Asavim shotim, we said weeding, right? There are two cases that someone wants to do weeding. One is for agriculture matter, because it's not good for the tree, he wants to take it out. This can be a problem, and it can be allowed just if it can kill it. You know, if you do it, if it just, it will be a little better. Okay, so you can't take them, you can't do weeding. But if it can kill it, so then, or can make a damage, then you can take it out. Usually, most people today in the private garden, when they don't want to do weeding, it's not for agriculture reason. They just want it to look nice. If you want it, just it will be nice. And everyone knows that that you see that you're doing it for this purpose, so then it's okay. And let's say in a minute we'll speak on cutting the grass, so you can cut already all those weeds together. But also if you see that everyone sees that you are just taking them out because beauty and not because agriculture reason. So it's okay. Also, if you do it by hand, it's better to cut without weeding, but it's also okay to do weeding. I have to tell you, there is a group in Israel that they are very machmir in this. They are not ready to get any kulot. You know what is kulot? Eterim. You know who are they? They are our religious soldiers. In the army, they like to punish them. Oh, you are not going now. You are going to weed this field, that field. In Shmita, all religious, we can't do it. Shmita, leave us alone. So they are machmir, and I said, okay, you can rely to be machmir there. It's okay. It seems funny, but you don't know how it saves them. It's not. The last thing here is kisuach deshe. You know what is cutting the grass? Or there is a better word? Mowing the grass. Mowing the grass. So, mowing the grass, I have to tell you, I'll start before. Someone came to me and he said, Rabby, 7 years ago, he showed me a picture and said, I want to show you a Shmita garden. And he shows me in a picture, terrible garden, everything disgusting. I told him, you can do whatever you want to do, but don't call it a Shmita garden. He said, why? I told him, look, if the halacha gives us rules and allows us to have nice garden in Shmita, you can't call it a Shmita garden. People by mistake think that mehadrin and miserable go together. I want to be mehadrin. I'm trying to be mehadrin everywhere and not to be miserable. I'm not miserable. I'm very happy in my life. Okay, I don't need to eat every chocolate in the world. It's okay. It's even better. Okay, but mehadrin can be nice, can be good, and can be mehadrin. And if you know how to treat the garden in a nice, the right way, it can be mehadrin and can be also nice. And I want to tell you, my garden in Shmita is much nicer than all the years. Why? To cut the grass, mowing, yes?
Yeah.
The grass,
Mowing.
mowing.
English, it's
Yes. It's okay. It's a shame that my mother is not here, Alea Shalom. Every time that I came from the States, she said, did you speak in Hebrew or in English? I told her in English. She said, it's thanks to me. I spoke to English when I was a child. It was my father. I spoke Hebrew. And also my mother was very soft. So if I made a mistake, she didn't say anything. But at least it gave me confidence. This is the most important thing. And so mowing the grass is not for an agriculture reason. It's like having your haircut. It's not that we want it to grow better. If we could tell the grass, stay like this, don't grow anymore. Like this, it would be better for us. But it grows again and again. And if you wait, there are people that want to be machmir, so they say, okay, we'll wait 2 months, 3 months. If you wait, then if you want to cut the grass, it will be yellow, because the sun wouldn't get to the root. So I'm machmir in Shmita, and because of this, I cut my grass every few weeks. I don't wait 2 months. And because of this, in Shmita, my garden is much nicer, you understand? All the time, it's cut, it's nicer, because I want it to be just like having your haircut. So, this is the grass. If you have gader chaya, you know this gader chaya? Hedge. So, if it's with holes and you cut it because you want that it will be complete, this is a problem. But if it's full, you just want to cut it because you want to have place to move, no problem. Also, if you want it to be nice, it's okay. But if it's full. And because of this, also grass. If someone wants now to put the grass, to plant it, he needs to do it very early, because in the beginning, all the mowing, it's that it will be better after a few weeks. Then it's just for beauty. And according to this, I want to go now and to see how you prepare the garden before Shmita, and we do it shortly. Which page now? 52. It seems good 52 because Hebrew is 53 now. תרשים. 56. Yeah, 56, it's okay. And in Hebrew, 53. It's preparing the garden for Shmita? No?
It's labor's forbidden by redemption.
לא הבנתי.
I don't see the
Maybe there is no chart in the English. Maybe I didn't do.
He must be doing
I didn't do a chart in the English, I think. I think it's a new chart just in Hebrew one. Doesn't matter.
there's
No picture. You have it in written. So I'll just... No, you have no... it's inside. You just have no chart in the English one. But it's okay.
Page 52.
Yes, okay. Before 56 you have... Maybe in 56 you have it in the middle of the chart. But it's written inside. I'll just say it shortly. We saw before that fertilizing you should do before Shmita. Before Shmita, you should bring the gardener that will spray every place that you don't want weeds. יש ריסוס מונע נביטה. ריסוס that it won't grow all the weeds. You can spray in places that you don't want them to grow up. You can spray before, and then they won't grow up there. And to prepare all the watering, to put plants, to put flowers of 2 years, not of 1 year. רב שנתי, of few years. If you put in the beginning all those flowers, and you fertilize before, and you prepare all watering before, then in Shmita your garden will be very nice. You'll have flowers, you can continue watering Shmita, and you can cut your mow your grass in Shmita. It's okay? Okay? So, בסך הכל, it should be perfect. I mean, no problems. Trees, you just have to know. We spoke about grass. If you want to plant the grass now, so do it now. Don't wait. If it's synthetic, you can do it later on, yes? It's, trees, if you have fruit trees, usually you have to do it till Tu B'Av, that is עוד מעט, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. But because usually today people plant in Gush Adama, they plant in... It's good that also for you it's difficult, it's good.
They're not bare rooted, but covered in soil.
A ball.
Okay.
All the soil.
What is the best word for the next lecture?
Potted.
איך?
Potted.
Potted?
In a pot. It comes in a pot.
Okay. אני מבין, אני לא יודע, I understand, I don't know if it, okay, maybe. Potted. Okay, let's continue. If you have afterwards another word at night, so what's up me? So, if you plant the tree potted with the earth, with the adama together, so then, if it's a fruit tree, you can do it till kaftet be'av, till the end of chodesh av. It means till a month before Rosh Hashanah. If it's not a fruit tree, you can do it, if it's potted, you can do it till Rosh Hashanah.
Special about a month before.
What do you say?
What's special about a month before?
Oh, it's a month before Rosh Hashanah because we want that Shnot Orla will start before Shmita. We don't want someone in a few years to say, wait, if now it's the 3rd year, the 4th year, it means that he planted it in Shmita. Because of this, we need to do it till Tu B'Av or 2 weeks afterwards, that it will consider the 1st year of Orla before Shmita. That no one will think that you planted it in Shmita. Flowers, usually also today, most people, when they see the flowers, they do it also potted. And because of this, you can do it till Rosh Hashanah.
Here's what you said in English.
What do you say?
You said in English, soil-filled containers.
Soiled?
Soil-filled containers.
Soiled-filled containers?
I think potted works.
But potted, yes, potted for me, it's shorter, potted. גלעד, אתה תזכיר לי. potted. So because of this, all flowers, because we buy them usually potted, we are lazy today. So all those, you can put them till Rosh Hashanah. If it's not potted, it's a few days before, but potted till Rosh Hashanah. So like this, you can prepare your garden, and you'll have nice garden if you do it before Shmita. And on Shmita, there are enough rules to continue, and it's really no problem. In the agriculture, for farmers, it's more complicated, but I have to tell you, if someone wants, also non-religious, in Tel Aviv, in a building, sometimes say, we will work on Shmita, but if someone agrees to listen, he can manage to have a nice garden. I have to tell you, today I had a meeting in Gan Botani in Yerushalayim. You know what is Gan Botani? Botanical garden. 7 years ago I went there. I told them I wanted to keep Shmita. They said, what, we'll keep Shmita? We planted it in Shmita. I said, no, I wanted to keep Shmita. And I convinced them. And not just I convinced them, we did the Shmita part there.
Yeah, we remember that.
It was very nice. Today I had a meeting with them, another executive director, other people, דור אשר לא ידע את יוסף. Yes, I'm Yosef. They don't. But, Baruch Hashem, you know, I started, we had good, if you have good connections also in business, you know, then people are ready to listen. And we were very excited. I told him, look, you know, Shmita will help you to give you הזדמנות, to give you opportunity to make the botanic garden much better. More people will come because of Shmita. And wow, we got excited. What do I need to do? I thought, okay, you do this, you do this. I gave him homework. He said, okay, we'll do it. We'll keep Shmita. The botanic garden. Now I'm trying all the time, but you know, it's not my only job. I don't get money for it. I just go. I go here, I go there. I'm the Rosh Yeshiva in Machon Lev. I'm the Rav of Alon Shmut. I have my books, I have Sulamot. I'm learning also there, and I have, Baruch Hashem, 8 girls, daughters. It's good that you are sitting. I'm very happy and wonderful wife. So, okay, I can't go all the time, but I'm trying all the time as much as I can. And people are also non-religious. When they hear Shmita in the right way, they're excited. And this is what we need. We need to do it, not just in Shmita, in all halacha. Shmita is just example. So this is preparing the garden. And, yes?
Flowers like vradim, roses, vradim. When they grow, then after the flower goes away, you have to cut off where the flower was in order for a new flower to grow. If you leave it there, a new flower is not going to come up.
Right. Good example. So this you won't do in Shmita.
Will not do.
No. So you won't have another flower, you'll survive. You won't have, but if you want to bring a rose to your wife for Shabbos, and you cut it for her, but you know that afterwards also it will bring another one, this is okay. Because your attention is on your wife. Always, if the attention is on the wife, it should be okay.
Can you talk about house plants?
Instead of?
Can you talk also about house plants? Plants in the house?
If it's in the house, and you have also roof, and also it's on the floor, and usually all our pots are also with a plate underneath, right? You don't want water at home. So those pots you can treat regularly. You can do everything. We want seed on Shmita, although it's also maybe will be okay, but no one needs to do it on Shmita. But everything normally, you can water it, cut everything, do everything what you want. Because if it's in the house, with a plate, with a roof, everything normal. If it's out, like let's say we would have here things, adaniyot. So then then it's like the garden. You can water it, you can do, but water every 4 days, as I said, in the garden you do that. Okay? Yes.
So sprouting, like you're growing seeds on water, that's ein shum ba'ya b'klal.
בטח שיש.
יש בעיה?
What, to seed on Shmita on water?
No, הם אוכלים את זה, זה אוכל.
You mean that you just put in water at home that will have a little nevet and to eat it afterwards.
Right.
This is no problem. Now I understand.
And what about planting seeds, flowers, to put, planting them from a seed? Before, when do you have to do that?
If you want to seed before Shmita, you need that it will, and you take it with seeds, not with, not
Potted.
Not potted. Okay, it's a good word. If you put a seed, you need, because it's vegetables, שתהיה נביטה לפני השמיטה. You need that a little will go out.
Sprout.
Hey, what's the word?
Sprout.
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 Sprout?
Sprout.
Okay.
Sprout.
You needed something will sprout before Shmita. A little. Nevita. If it didn't sprout, then it will be Isur Sfichim. This is the problem. You need a little that will sprout before Shmita, okay? Now, our subject is before Shmita. We are not speaking now on Shmita, and we are not speaking now on the kitchen on Shmita, and we are not speaking what to buy, Eiter Mechira, Otzar Beitin, this is not the subject. If you want once, after Shmita, I'm ready to speak on it, but this was our subject today. I just want to tell you that you should be excited to bring as much as you can Kedushat Shvit at home. It's Otzar Beitin, usually, when you buy Otzar Beitin, or in your garden, it will be Kedushat Shvit. All the rest have no Kedusha. Because as I said before, wow, we have Kedusha. If you have diamonds, you won't say, oh, I don't want them because I need to take care of them, to balagan. You understand? And really, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. When all the fruits and vegetables of Kedusha Shvi'it, you try to finish till the end, and it's not bad to educate the children to try to finish till the end. It's not an issue if you don't finish. And the leftovers, you put in a plastic bag, you close and you put in the garbage. This is על רגל אחת.
היינו כאילו, עד השנה, כל שמיטה, היה לנו את הענבות השמיטה שלנו, שאכלו את ה...
To give it to animals. If it's something that you are going to chuck out, leftovers, you can give it to the animals. Yes?
I don't know if you spoke about compost. Can you
I
do
didn't
that?
speak. I'll say shortly.
Are you allowed to?
I'll say shortly. Of course, you can't use the compost on Shmita, but to create the compost, if you do it at home, you have like a jar or something like this that you put all the compost. Leftovers at home, lots of people, instead of putting every time in another plastic bag, they have a kli. Usually people call it pach Shmita, and there they put all the leftovers of Shmita. And then they don't need every time to check for a plastic bag. When they want, they close it and chuck it out to the garbage. If you do it, and it's recommended to do it, I didn't speak in a minute, I'll speak on the compost. If you do it, so after, let's say a day, all the leftovers are rusted.
Rotten.
How you say?
Rotting.
Then, if we put the new ones on them, they will be destroyed directly. We don't want it. We want, that when you put it, it's okay, and after a few hours, so like this every day or something like this, you'll put a newspaper on the old ones, and you'll put the new ones on the newspaper that they won't be destroyed directly. And like this, you do also in the compost. You'll put newspaper, you put leaves on this, you'll put the new ones, and then it's okay.
What can you do with the compost afterwards?
But you can't use it just after Shmita. You can't use it in Shmita. Okay, after Shmita, usually compost can be years.
Body is very
Okay? And so I just say in the kitchen, it's really not complicated. As I said, the leftovers you put like this. It's a little more, because when you, let's say, make soup, and let's say you bought zucchini of Shmita, so you have the privilege that all the soup, also the water is Kedushat Shvit, is Kadosh. It's exciting, no? All the kitchen starts to be Kadosh. So it's always a problem. If you have leftovers, they sell in the supermarket, you pay money today for the sakiyot with the handles, right? But the one that you do like this, no money, right? Why isn't no money? Because they want you to save it for Shmita. Those are usually waterproof. When you put the soup inside, close it, put it in the garbage, it will be okay. Don't call me afterwards. Because of you, my carpet got ruined, so it won't take 2 months. Yes, but this is for, you are doing chunt. You do use potatoes for Shmita, so also the meat is Kedushat Shvit, exciting. Everything kadosh. Okay, leftovers, put like this. And if you have a little...
Does it need to rot first before you throw it in the garbage?
There is a chumrah to wait a few days. But this chumrah, Reb Chaim Kanievsky said, according to halacha, I don't need to do it. It's a chumrah that's just in last Shmitot started. Once, no one did it. And I say, I did it also once by myself, but I say, I wrote it in my book also, because that according to halacha, you can close it and chuck it like this. If you take too much chumrot, you don't buy Kedushat Shvi'it. I prefer go according to halacha and buy as much as you can Kedushat Shvi'it. This is a better chumrah. And so it's not complicated. I mean, okay, what do you have? Things, once it was more complicated because according to halacha, you mustn't cook things that you are not used to cook. You mustn't squeeze things that you are not used to squeeze. But today you have a Michigan generation. If 30 years ago, someone would ask me, can you take chasa, lettuce, and put it in the blender in Shmita? I would tell you, Michigan, who is doing something like this? Today, there are people that they won't start the day without a green mashke, right? More women than men, but mashke yarok baboker. They put chasa, they put celery, okay, they put and they make blender. Look, my wife does it also. She likes it. I don't like it, but I take. You know what I take? Because to eat salad, every day you need every day salad. It's such a waste of time. So much. Like this, I have a cup, I drink it, I don't like it, but יצאתי ידי חובה. I don't need vegetables anymore. So if I have it, it's perfect. Okay, so you can do it on Shmita.
Can I ask you a question?
No problem.
That soup that I put in that bag, it spilled, and I wiped it up with napkins. Are those napkins now also?
No. All the leftovers on the plates and also on the pots, the sirim, pots. All this, what you are used to wash in the sink, you can wash it and you don't need pach shmita. And also all the things like this, all those, no problem. So what do you have? So Rav Kook said, Ner Avdala, don't put in the wine. Okay. So most people will say, okay, we'll take another wine for Avdala, and it's no problem. I prefer Shmita one, and I do like this for the candle, it's okay. I put the water, the wine that will flow over, and then after I drink the cup, I take the tzalachat and I drink it also. This is because I'm Israeli. You can bring it back to the cup. And drink from the cup. But I want everyone to see that I'm drinking the Shmita leftover. So besach hakol, it's no kashe. We are going to create a special Luach Shana calendar. Nachon, Eileen? A calendar that you will have every month to know what's going on in Shmita, what you can buy with no hechsher, fruit, vegetables, what you need to keep. So you'll have a calendar that you'll have all the rules there. זה יהיה גם באנגלית?
לא חושבת, אלי לא פנה אליי.
Okay, meanwhile it's in Hebrew. I think 7 years ago we did it also in English.
נכון, עשינו את זה.
So maybe, I don't know, if someone wants to make it in English, come to us and call to Eileen. If you sponsor it, it will be in English.
We'll take your emails and
Okay, we can do also an English calendar like this. So it's a good idea. Eileen, אני דיברתי יותר מדי עכשיו, את. בואי לכאן, יש לך מקום.
זה היה תענוג לגמרי. Are there other questions?
Questions, more questions. I think people here asked already.
I have one. You said about setting the time switch on the watering system, and you said before Shmita, but in the winter we don't need it. We only need it turned on again in the summer. You can then turn it on during Shmita once to turn it back on again, or you're best off letting
Okay,
it run
so
in the winter?
as I explained before, I mean, if it's just to put the switch on and you don't do anything, I think you can keep what was before. If you are trying from the beginning to do it because now it's summer, it's not like that what was before. Usually,
It would be the same thing. It's just turning it on, I suppose. Like
if
once.
it's just turning it on, I think you can do it also in Shmita to leave it. You don't need to change it. Maybe I would tell you to do it in Shinui, to do it like this. If you are from the beginning doing it now and trying to see the times and this, then I would tell you to do it in the rules that I said before. איילין, בואי תגידי, ספרי לנו קצת. איילין, את יכולה לעשות את זה באנגלית? You can do it in English?
Yeah, please. Morty's, my husband's not here to correct my Hebrew. First of all, thank you very much. I have to tell you, I think this is our third, Amy, visit to Nofi Alon.
At least third time.
You have a wonderful community here. Mamash, a wonderful community, and thank you so much for inviting us and having us and welcoming us. So many people are here. as the Rav explained, there's two arms. There's the Sulamot, the educational arm, and the Ratzim LeMishnah, and the Parashat Shavua, and the books, and everything that the Rav does on an educational level from here to across the world. And then there's the Chesed arm, which is called La'ofek. It used to be called Ta'asu Katif, Job Katif, and that's how it grew. It started with the Rav initiating, making contact with the Gush Katif evacuees, and he saw that approximately 85% of them were unemployed, when in the Gush itself, they had a 98% employment rate. So these are people who are used to getting up at 4:30 in the morning and working a full day, and now nothing. So he gathered together a group of volunteers, and trial and error, they built a model from 2007, 2006 through 2016. They built a model and overturned the unemployment rate so that now 88% were employed. Either they started small businesses or they found employment. We put them on an academic track, the next generation, so that they could enjoy a stable financial future. So we had two choices in 2016. We could say, we fulfilled our mission, which we did. Or we could say, we learned a lot. Maybe there are other groups of people who are living on the margins of society in Israel that we can help. And today, I have so many stories to tell, but I'm going to keep it very short. We have 3 programs. One is called Achotenu, again, the Rav's initiative. Drive into a canyon, and the Rav says, why are most of the Anshe Bitachon, why are they Ethiopians? Most of them grew up here. Why aren't they taking advantage of all that society has to offer? So for the Ethiopian Israelis, I'll come back to it. We have an Achotenu program, which is after doing an extensive amount of research. We hired somebody who specialized in this field, had already started to work with a company and create employment opportunities for Ethiopian Israelis. Guess what? Most of the people, most of the second generation or the first generation who was born here, guess what they wanted to do? They wanted to become nurses in the hospitals because, and I'll use like a kid's word, I was blown over by their interviews. They wanted to be able to take care of people. So we started a nursing program, an academic nursing program. It is a 5-year program at the Hebrew University's Henrietta Zold School of Nursing. 2 weeks ago, I participated on Zoom. Our first cohort of 12 students graduated, and they already have jobs lined up, and they're preparing for their government exams. We have some 80 students in 5 cohorts studying at the Henrietta Zold School of Nursing. The dropout rate for nursing school, by the way, is between 20 to 30%. Our dropout rate is under 2%. I'll explain why we're able to do that. That's learning from the model we created. The second program that we have working is Ta'asu Chayil, which is a program for lone soldiers who are here on their own, but mostly it's soldiers who are identified by the Army as coming from socioeconomically deprived backgrounds, and they need to work, not to just support themselves. Many of them were also helping their families. 1 out of every 5 soldiers approximately in the IDF is considered in this category. What do? We help them find work from today till tomorrow. Soldier hears from his mefaked, okay, you can have Thursday off, you can have Wednesday and Thursday, you have to come back on Sunday. We get the phone call on Sunday or Monday, we find a job for him. We have hundreds of businesses that are working with us throughout the country. Every year we help something like 1,500 soldiers, and we don't just help them find work. No. we really mentor them throughout their process. They're usually with us for a minimum of 2 years, if not 3. One story I heard this week. One of the young men came from a broken home. The father left when he was young. The 3 kids, the mother was not able to function. The 3 kids were taken and sent over and grew up basically in one of these educational villages. He finishes the army. We've helped him find work. He's moving along. He's feeling greater confidence, greater sense of himself. And he says, well, I have 2 choices. Either I could go study agriculture or I could study physics. And the staff decided after sitting with him, it's a combination of professional and volunteer staff, you know what, let's encourage him to study his sphere psychometric and let's see if we can get him onto the physics track. Make a long story short, he just finished the first year of his academic track at Hebrew University in physics. He called to tell the head of the program, Aryeh, how overwhelmed and pleased he was. Without our help, our livui, our mentoring, he would have gone to agriculture. But now we're going to have a physicist. That is very extraordinary. And the newest program, again, Rav Rimon's initiative was, our newest program is called Shachar Chadash. It's for people who are suffering from unemployment due to COVID, due to the corona. What we decided to do is make the program very community-based. What does that mean? We began with an intensive campaign in Gush Etzion and Efrat, and we have over 100 people who turn to us, mostly in 2 categories, which is not going to come as a surprise if you're following the unemployment news. It's the younger and then the over 45 group. These are hard nuts to crack. If you remember, our Hachana program is a 5-year program, so this is a long program too. It's not a few months. People come in, we do intake. There's professional evaluation. There are mentors that are set up to help them. There are tracks that are recommended. Some of them are subsidized. All of the mentoring is completely subsidized, and we're asking communities to do 2 things. One is to, sometimes it's very hard to admit that you're unemployed. Some people hide it. So we're asking communities if they have friends or relatives that they think could benefit from from these services. And the other thing is a lot of the donors are also coming to us and saying, I know of some positions available. Tell me if we can make a match here. And that's what we're looking for. We started in Gush Etzion and Efrat. We just finished the campaign now. We have a meeting on Sunday to discuss the next campaign, which is, by the way, in Beit Shemesh. Aliza Bloch, the mayor of Beit Shemesh, who you've all heard about, she's so excited about the program that she's assigned 4 people to work with us part-time on getting this program moving forward in her community. I'm going to come back to the Achotenu program. I have the privilege of very often interviewing a lot of the students. And I've even driven them to different places. So we have, women are chatty. We chat a lot. And I learn a lot about them. And it's not just about these young men and women becoming nurses. It's also, they are the hope for their families. They are changing how their siblings look at academic education, and they're changing how their families feel about themselves. It's what I call the ripple effect. And it's true with Ta'asuchayil, with a story with a young man who came to us. He was failing everywhere in the Army, and in consultation with the Army, we decided that the best thing would be to help him get his driver's license. Now, it seems a simple thing. I mean, one of my daughters drives. I can't believe she passed her license on the first test, but okay, I'm not the driving instructor here. And I'm saying, what's the big deal? We found somebody to fund it. Well, it turns out by knowing this soldier, we also had entry into the family, and we're already helping the parents. And a father needs help with an illness, which we are assisting him, and the other siblings. By the way, he just passed his theory test. It's the 9th time he's taken his theory test, and he just passed it, and he called Aryeh. He said, before I even call my parents, I'm calling you to thank you for your help. All of our programs are based on 3 pillars, and with that I'll conclude. The one-on-one. There is nothing in the world that can replace one-on-one. You have a person you can call any day of the week, any time of the day. It's either a professional or a volunteer, and that person knows everything and is available to help you in any way possible, one-on-one, and they shepherd you through the program. The second thing is, when in need, we provide comprehensive services, which could be anything from evaluation, professional intake, to in the Hachana program, we cover everything. Academic scholarships, living subsidies, they have to be in the dorms. There's a give and take. There's certain rules, guidelines to be accepted. And the third pillar is complete, if you need, in addition to wraparound services, if you need financial help, we're there to help you. Our goal is to make sure that you come out of the program, you feel confident, you feel that you can create a new path to a new future, and we're doing it every day. Every day we're doing it. And that's why the graduation ceremony of our first cohort of Hachana students was so exciting for us. So again, no alone. Toda rabba, mamash mikerav halev, toda rabba al hakol. ובמיוחד תודה רבה לרב רימון.
And toda rabba for all your support and help, because without it we won't manage. Every year I have to try to find millions for the chesed and millions for chinuch, and most day I'm learning and writing and teaching, and without friends and partners we couldn't do it. As Baruch Hashem, once I asked myself, why Kodesh Baruch Hu doesn't bring you one? That we say, Rav Rimon, whatever you want, tell me the check, around. You want million, 10 million, what? There are people like this in the world. And then I understood. Hashem wants me to daven 3 times a day. And to think all the time, Hashem, help me. As Be'ezrat Hashem, שנצליח ביחד, that together we can help Am Yisrael in Torah, in Chesed, and that you'll succeed here, also with your families, with your children, grandchildren, לראות דור ישרים מבורך, בעזרת השם.